Everybody, and welcome to the workshop of the Board of County Commissioners. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First up, we have a discussion regarding a fire ban, reinstating it, and this has the emergency management, but actually, since we have the sheriff here, Sheriff, you are the fire warden, so do you want to present this, or?
Yeah.
How?
How about if we do a duel?
That, you know what? That sounds like a tag team.
That would be okay. Come
Yeah.
here. Share the same mic.
All right. So
Okay,
you got
Tim.
my write-up on that, just for the public. So we know the drying of the grass, critical fuels, falling in moisture, on and on and on. We've got anywhere from moderate to severe drought. We're staying in the moderate right now. We're recommending a county-wide fire ban starting July 1st. The business calculator, it's starting to go up on the relative humidity, but looking at the actual results that we got today, well, listening to the results we got today, they're still running 1 to 5% for the low or the minimum relative humidity. So we're expected. We have the fire danger is high now. It's going to go back to moderate for a little bit because of the cool coming in, but it's going to, looking at the dry wind drought index, July 1st it starts climbing again. It's going up pretty high, so I just saw that today. Dolores County, La Plata County, Ute, Mountain Ute, Southern Ute, everybody today on the call, they're all going July 1st. BLM said they would, but we haven't seen anything from that. They sometimes don't come out right away. We're set in the region for equipment. Looks like everybody's intact. We've got seats and a lat over here. We got helicopters and a lot of crews from Montrose down. We're full, so we don't have to worry too much. Everybody's just standing by. Forest Service is doing the stage 1, which is similar to what we do. The latest indices I sent twice, but you got the latest one because the 29th was all I had, and there it happened. So
I responded to it.
yeah, I saw that. So it's recommended by the fire chief to go for it, recommended by the sheriff. I'll let the sheriff talk.
Town of Dolores went into a fire ban June the 26th. Forest Service goes into effect tomorrow for elevations 7,000, 8,000 and below. So that's most of the county, not all of it.
Lion's share of it.
And you know, we have, and as you know, we have a lot of unincorporated land within the forest, and even on BLM when BLM goes into effect. So it's nice to be consistent together when we can, but we're definitely dry in most of our areas. Pleasant View, Lewis Areola, and Cortez, definitely.
So typically we give them a time on this resolution. I didn't see that time on there. Is there a
No,
time?
there's no time on it because we talked, and it's like, it may be before Labor Day when we say go for it. In the past, it was June 6th or, September 6th or something.
Oh, you mean for it to go away?
Go away,
yeah.
so we kind of just left it, and we can make that decision.
Stays in effect until you decide that.
Right,
you're
which
gonna
could be
rescind it. Yeah.
December.
Yeah, that's
Could
whatever
be.
you want to do.
Or-
Yeah.
First
Let's see what happens this year, okay?
Yeah.
We're already running out of irrigation water, so it's just going to be dry. The thing is, though, is when you put this into effect, you have to give the public some time to know when it goes into effect.
Right, so that we can get this,
You can do it whenever you
Like,
would like.
if we give them 12 hours of notice, or
Right.
at
24 hours,
midnight,
12,
24
whatever.
hours? Huh?
Whatever you'd like, yeah.
24 hours, so if
Noon
we do it
Wednes- noon
tomorrow, would
Wednesday?
be noon Wednesday.
Noon Wednesday?
Would be
Does that-
appropriate, yeah. It's usually either at midnight or 6 o'clock in the morning, however, if you just set a time in there.
All right, let's see,
On that day.
6 a.m.,
One
6
last-
a.m.
one-
Wednesday?
One last bird on Wednesday morning?
6 a.m. Wednesday, all right.
Jesus Christ, way to go, Ken.
6 a.m.
I
Wednesday morning.
don't think anybody's purposely burning
No.
right now anyway, and have.
Oh, yes, they are.
They can burn today, okay?
Yeah.
So,
I seen 2 yesterday.
so Sheriff, as the fire warden, you're recommending the fire burn ban at 6 a.m. Wednesday, July the 2nd.
Thank
Correct.
you.
And the fireworks stands are up in New Mexico.
Okay.
The fireworks stands are up in New Mexico.
Yeah,
They are.
yeah, they
never
are.
take them down.
But,
Okay, so I'm just trying to make sure that I have this proper so that when we do vote on this tomorrow, that,
Right, it's the
It'll be-
2015 ordinance that
Yeah.
goes into effect, yes.
And the
we just, we'll have
resolution's there.
an actual date and time with it.
Yeah, and I have
2015, yes.
a copy, and Kim's got a copy of it, too.
Okay,
Also, Commissioner, when I talked to Mel this morning, once this goes into effect, they'd like to waive fees for green waste at the landfill. One, it's gonna help the county, help out the fire ban, and also help out with the compost.
Good
No-
plan.
No problem with that. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep it
just
safe.
let me know. I'll wait to see what you do. Thank you.
all right.
Thanks,
Don't,
guys.
don't go
Well,
away.
just hang out, because you're next.
I'm next. I'm here. And ready.
So we're gonna talk about the San Juan National Forest again.
Yes, looks like
Which-
they actually decided to award a law enforcement co-op agreement.
Yeah, because I thought last time we talked about, they said they weren't gonna do it, but,
You know, after the last email that I had with them last week about their MOU, and showing that they can't have an MOU that shows that they're state peace officers. So it's like, we can certainly have an agreement to work together. I don't have any federal authority, they don't have any state authority, and it's best if we work together. They understood that, and so it was the next day that I got this. So, it looks like this is somewhat different because this co-op agreement will go into effect for the calendar year of 2025.
so July through June.
Actually to December 31st. And then it continues and it doesn't end until December 31 of 2029.
So it's a 3-year contract.
Yeah, but it's $10,500 every calendar year.
Okay.
That's the way that I read this. Yep. And that's on
Okay.
page, Exhibit A, page 1 of 4.
So my only question is, obviously, this is a contract, we need to get it to Stephen. Is he gonna be available, or is he gonna be able to
Well,
review
that's
this? Are
right.
we gonna be, he's gone this week,
I
so,
sent this to him.
Okay.
He sent me an email back saying he was good with it, if I was. It's pretty much the same. The only thing that it covers is just those areas that are listed on page 2.
right, which are mostly the parking lots and
And
the
page
over by
3.
McPhee,
Yeah.
House Creek.
Okay.
What they did exclude in there was the abandoned vehicle processing that we've done for the last 2 years. So that's not in there anymore. They can deal with their own abandoned vehicles. Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay?
Before you leave, I've got a question. Sure. I was reading about a bill, I can't remember the bill number, where if you cooperate with ICE, you get fined $50,000. Is that right?
Yeah. You know, that's not true.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not true at all. It doesn't, the bill that was passed or that was signed into law by the governor really contained more information prohibiting the state judicial probation department from cooperating with ICE. With us, it just reiterated that we can't hold immigration holds at all for ICE. We don't. And we can't hold a person that's wanted on a detainer from immigration enforcement protection. longer than 6 hours. Well, we don't. So, but
It'd
yeah.
take them that long to get here.
Well, they're just in Durango.
Are they-
But the
are they
thing
still
is,
in
we
Durango?
don't hold them.
Okay.
We let them know that they're there. Of course, they know where they're at. And they know what their court dates are, and they know when they get out, and we don't really have that much communication with them at all.
Okay.
It's up to them. But it did prohibit them, which I don't know how legal that is, that they can't enforce the immigration law under state law
Yeah,
with whether a person who has state criminal charges or even county charges going to court, at court, and leaving court. I don't know about that. So that's between ICE and the state of Colorado. That has nothing to do with us. So, but yeah. Yeah. The thing is, though, is that, like I explained to you when I was here last, I mean, there isn't any ICE raids that I know that are going on, and I would be the last person for them to let me know anyway, unless they get into trouble. But, you know, they've picked up several already, and it's not been a raid, okay? They have identified those people that are criminal aliens that they want to pick up. And
okay.
we don't have any involvement with it, and they're doing their job, and we're doing ours, and everything's copacetic. Yep,
Thank you.
you bet.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have Shak Powers with the Southwest Colorado Council of Governments requesting a letter of support.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. How's everyone today?
Grand, how about yourself?
Also grand, thank you. Working on this beautiful bill that the state has given us, 174. If the Commissioners will remember, that's the one that requires jurisdictions with more than 1,000 to do a housing needs assessment every 6 years in perpetuity and continue to study the problem to no end. We are requesting a letter to support an application. We're going after some of the HPLN funds from DOLA to try to get money for what I've already been in here talking about at different times to not only finish our template, but to help automate. And Travis, could I share my screen?
You'll have to plug in. This system don't work.
I told you, don't touch it, you'll break it.
Right
You
there.
have to plug into the cord.
HDMI cord. Thank you, Commissioner. Let's get it over the monitor. I think I can do that. Let's see. Okay, so we have published out through BidNet and directly solicited a few vendors a request for qualifications. There it is. It's coming and going. To see what it'll cost to automate this. But I did want to show the commissioners some of the organizations that we've directly solicited to in hopes to get feedback. As you remember, SB 174 requires housing needs assessments every 6 years, and it has some specific outputs. Good night. I'm used to a mouse instead of a trackpad, but I will get this figured out. So this is one of the groups that we have solicited, but I bring this up mostly to show the commission what it is that we are trying to do on behalf of the governments in the region that find themselves needing to comply with this. So this website, if I take any jurisdiction in the United States, in this case, for the sake of example, I'll take Montezuma County, Colorado, go to report.
So, Shak, as this is pulling this up, I have a question for you. As far as this housing needs assessment, the last one that I reviewed showed the needs of the entire county, which is Mancos, Dolores, Cortez, and the unincorporated part of the county as a whole.
Correct.
And then you broke down each jurisdiction to try and resolve what would need to be into each jurisdiction, which it's just not a
If you're
reality.
asking me,
It's-
Commissioner, what the legislature was thinking when they passed this, I don't know. To be frank, I don't know if they were thinking when they passed this.
Because those numbers
Because
are
I could summarize the whole housing needs
way
assessment
too
for you in
high.
2 sentences. We don't have enough houses, and what we have costs too much. There you go. There's your study. So I agree that this legislation is asinine, but what we're trying to do to prevent jurisdictions that lack capacity from having to do this all the time and spend ungodly amounts of money is to automate. As you see, I put in Montezuma County, this spits out a complete housing needs assessment, completely already done. That I would just use this, however, this is not in the format that DOLA requires, and it doesn't have all of the outputs that the bill requires. But what we're trying to do is put together a platform that will automate in the same way, but give the required outputs from 174. And so we're seeking that the commission support our efforts to do that, rather than trying to hire consultants every 6 years to do repetitive studies when the SB 174 has their data sources documented that they want used. They're publicly available, and with the technologies we have now, it is possible to skim those and have it automate a report, and we don't see the need to do it manually every 6 years in perpetuity. Quite frankly, in my humble opinion, though I'm sure I'm not educated enough to be a state legislature, I think if the state wants to be having statewide housing needs assessments every 6 years, that perhaps they should invest in this instead of the $11 million grant application or grant pool that they're doing this time, and who knows what it'll be next time. For context, I think it's going to be quite costly for us to get the first iteration of this, but I spoke to the people at Policy Map that put this together, and to do every jurisdiction in the United States, they keep this platform updated for $20,000 a year. Your state, who's claiming bankruptcy, is going to be spending $11 million just in this first cycle. So I don't know. I don't math good. Certainly not good enough to be a legislator, but we're trying to take the route of least resistance and use the technology that's available to us. So we would appreciate the commission's support. And you know, I don't know, like if you have somebody at the Road and Bridge Department and you need to go out and clear bar ditches before we have runoff season or whatever, you tell them to go out and do it. One guy grabs a shovel and one guy grabs an excavator. Imagine you'd be trying to work more with the guy that's going to use the excavator. Call it a hunch.
Depends on what kind of an operator he is.
Correct. But what do they say? If the tool's not right, the guy's not bright.
Yeah, I got your point. So
Yeah.
what does this cost, Shak? Just
The
roughly.
one that's on here right now, so we have the RFQ out to which doesn't require us to actually award bids, but we're using that to judge the amount that we're going to ask for. We got $27,000 from CHAPA already, so we're not asking any of the local governments for match. We'll see what the pricing comes back. I don't know what the initial cost was to build this platform out nationwide that they're doing, but I do know the upkeep cost is only $20,000 a year, which you can do a lot of years at that price before you get to the $11 million that the state's going to spend this year on it.
Okay. Questions?
No. Maybe the state would like to start a tab.
They are on
I
us.
know, on our dollar.
Yeah. If you want to see
That
your
bill at the end of the year is gonna be pretty good size.
Yeah, you just show up at your local tax professional on April 15th, and they'll help you see your portion of the tab.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Which reminds me, we could also consider either moving Election Day from the second Tuesday in November to April 15th, or moving Tax Day to the second Tuesday in November. Maybe it'll do our voting population some good to not have so much memory loss in between.
Yeah, there's a reason they're so far apart.
Yeah. Coincidence? I think not.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else?
No, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
All right, Justin, we have an addendum to the racetrack lease.
Okay, so this here is a addendum that Stephen kind of wrote up for us here a while back. Glenn got with me, and he was asking if we could kind of put the stated in this addendum on that racetrack lease, basically just for insurance purposes. The insurance they currently have is under that B&B Investments, BST Promotions, BST Racing, and Cortez Fairgrounds Speedway, and they don't really like that they're holding an insurance without that on the actual racetrack lease from the county here. So this is basically just, I guess, a formality, if we can, to try to add that language to the lease to just make the insurance happy, just in case we do have any issues down the road. We can't say there was problems. So that's what they're asking for on this.
This is adding a tenant, the way I read this. I did talk to Stephen.
It does,
That's
yep.
basically all this is doing, because Brace Motorsports, by our contract, is required to have insurance. It doesn't matter who he gets as his insurance company.
Correct.
So this is actually adding a tenant who's also responsible and liable to the contract.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and who's holding the insurance at the current moment, yep.
Yeah.
So, and that insurance company is asking if we could do this, so.
So,
And they're good with it, they liked it, obviously they signed it already, so.
Okay.
We
Yeah.
could term this as housekeeping.
yeah, this is not a. Okay.
Okay,
Anything else?
that's all.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you, Justin.
All right. Well, that was quick and easy. 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're adjourned. Thank you all.